First of all, thank you so much to the Tradepass for organizing such a great fun tech event. And thank you so much, Sir Dennis, for accepting our color of turban shirt so that we look alike. Thank you so much. Sir Dennis is one of the leading digital transformation leaders we have. And today we have a fireside chat conversation. So before I put some of the questions to you, I would like to introduce our audience what Onfido does. Leading identity platform solution, solution to the banks, financial institutions, and to other industry verticals across 195 countries to know to build the and banks. We have always known that face-to-face meeting face-to-face customers is not going to last forever. Definitely, that will create a challenge. But the change has happened so fast, we didn't realize it. So I think change has also incurred a digital transformation that what Onfido does. So what we say, if you have a camera-enabled phone, just take a picture of yours, take a front and back of your document, and Onfido digital identity platform will be in a position to find out whether are you the genuine stakeholder of the document or not. So before we talk about this one, I'd love to start with some questions. So, sir, I would like to ask a question. There are so many emerging technologies across the globe, right? And most of the banking leaders, they think digital and tech first, and then talk about the core product. How do you decide what are the emerging technologies available, and how do you adapt to those emerging technologies?
Yeah, you're, so, I think it's about finding a relevance to our customers. That's our our guidepost, right? So it's not doing digital transformation for the sake of everybody's doing it, but we have this we have this deeper purpose of really doing financial inclusion, no, as Plabasan has mentioned. It's about serving those people. So to us, it's what's preventing that? What's the experience? So that's one, and then we look for technologies that allows us to them. We have a team, enterprise architecture team. They look for technologies. So we call it the technology radar scan. We see that disrupt industry in like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. So thing is to be ahead. Look at those technologies still, it's like exploratory. They say it's still in the hype cycle, but we test, so that when it comes, we understand the technology. But more important is know how to apply that technology to serve our customers at the end, and being relevant. If we don't see that, then we don't see why this technology. At the end, it's about being able to provide the value to the customers.
Yeah, you're right. We build a lot of technologies which adds value to the core banking system. But at the end of the day, we also need to realize how customers are adopting to those technologies. So it's very from a customer standpoint. Here comes to the second question. There have been a lot of talk about open banking, digital banking. In layman, you need to understand what do you think about open banking? How will this to those customers who are still unbanking or underprivileged, who are not able to actually bank or lend instrument? How this will help?
Yeah, I think so. There's been lots of invisible banking, embedded banking, and then there's this, open banking, open finance, all the way to open data. But to me, I think the customer, it means their financial transactions or decisions without having to think of the bank. It becomes embedded as part of their life. Whether they're shopping or they're traveling or whatever. I think that's the key thing, and we need to embrace this. We need to convert our relevance to being embedded. And I think there's a way of being able to do that, but first is to understand the concept of, I read in one article, bold guy saying a bold prediction from a guy saying, banks might not be there in the future, but banking will continue to be there. So of course we don't know whether that he's saying it may, but I think what he's alluding to is we need to be more open and embedded, rather than it's like it's a banking system and people have to there's like friction to go to your banking before you do other things that you have to do in your life.
You're right. And especially in the current environment, everything is getting remote. Especially if you look at like we work remotely, right? We bank remotely, we buy insurance and healthcare, and everything is getting remote. So what steps you have taken in terms of giving that power to end customers so that they can actually get attached to digital banking core product more?
But maybe I'll share. But maybe it starts from a mentality. There's lots of fintechs coming up, right? And some, maybe some, they say what used to be won by the biggest will now be won by the fastest. But in our mindset, it's to embrace that. Our belief is that the fintechs have a unique value in them, and we have our unique values as well. That when you put together, I think you create new value proposition for the clients, right? Instead of a mentality where you say, I'm gonna do what they do, and then I think I can do it better because I'm bigger, so I'll just kill them, So our mentality is different. What did we do? We opened ourselves up through APIs. We were the local banks to open up our APIs. What does that mean? If you're a fintech and you want to do InstaPay, PesoNet, or whatever, go and developer. You can simply cut and paste those capabilities into your. Essentially, this means also being open and embedded. Because somebody who creates, let's say, payroll app, sells it, but integrates the UBP services through the API, then people are seeing that app, not the Union Bank app, but we're embedded in there. That's one of the things that we've done. Many APIs that's been exposed, and we continue to expose more capabilities. Second is we open ourselves up also to Lazada, for example. We have cards that are enabling Lazada. SSS, if you see SSS cards, it's actually powered by Union Bank. To get their ID, serves as their account also. So these are some of the things that we do, to really be embedded and open. And I think the third one is we're really participating in the open banking initiative of BSP, as part of the POC volunteers, because we want to. There's lots of things that can be done there, right? So, for example, if the client has already been KYC, know your customer from another bank, and then he wants to apply to another bank, to do another KYC, right? With open banking, open finance, I can say, oh, you KYC by that bank, you don't need to do it again. You can open a bank account because that's been done. This can be done, but there has to be a framework, and this is why we're participating on that initiative. And it could also be if you want to check your account balance and different apps, right? But now we're exploring and doing. Just have one, and I can see all the balances, and do mixed transactions across those things. So this is a lot of new things, exciting things. But at the end, as I've said, does it help the customer? Meaning in their experience, I don't have to jump from one to the other. I need to pay insurance, but I need to pay from Bank A and Bank B. Why does it have to be difficult if there's a way in which we can do that rather more quickly? We had to learn a lot of things, right? So we use technology so that they can just through the app, download the app, fill up the information, take a picture of the ID fee, and then we there decide do we open an account for you or not. Right? But after that, we still have layers. Our people still check did the technology capture it right? This really a valid ID. We do our own tests also. We get a valid driver's ID, for example, paste a different picture there, but it's a valid ID, and see what the system will do. So we had to a lot, and we had to learn AI. So this happens even on the physical, right? But we have to go digital because there's just no way we can cater to the volume. During the pandemic and all, we were doing like more than 100,000 uh, digital account opening per month. So you can imagine if this goes to the branches, our branches would like die down with so many people lined up. So the balance, I think, about understanding the technology. But there's one thing I'd like maybe people to understand. Some they forget this, right? When they do digital account opening, they do a selfie. This is a digital, facial recognition. This is a biometric profile. Something happens, let's say, because there are fraudsters and all, right? But at the end of the day, if I look back and I see this is the face, can't deny it, and you'll still be caught, at the end. So sometimes, the tail end piece when there is a complaint filed, etc., all the way up to case being filed and somebody sometimes they don't see this in the news, but those digital evidences, very, very strong digital account opening, because you can't deny that's captured in there. Right? So what I'm saying is still a lot of learning. They try to discover new techniques, but be proactive and check that. But all the more that you need technology to work for you, be better at ensuring that only those that are legit are created with the proper bank account.
Very, very valid point, and we are very happy to be part of your journey. If I may ask you, what decided you to work with Onfido? There are multiple providers in the market, right? But definitely, we do believe that we have cutting-edge technology. But
Yeah.
any information from any?
Three things. So the accuracy, we continue to check. So we put up, we have test cases, passport, IDs, etc. And we check whether this technology can really check whether this is legit or not, so the accuracy rate. So we saw that in Onfido, and that's why we had to pivot. We used to have a different EKYC partner. We had to shift there. Second is this forward-looking in terms of technology. So now we have this capability of somebody applies an account, we saw the face. This is true on Fido. On Fido is able to recognize this face we've seen before. And by the way, he was applying before as Pedro de la Cruz. Now he's applying as Jose Pidal, whatever. And the system will tell us, this is the same face. So now we're able to reject that and say this is fraud because this is the same face, but he's using different names. So this is a key capability that we saw on Fido that allowed us to see that. It's more the forward-looking, continuing to improve, versus the static, this is what it does. And then the partnership, I think that's very important. I can tell you any EKYC provider will probably work, not maybe the same. But to me, I give weight towards, do you have a partner? Do you have a real partner? And partner means, do you have a common purpose? Which is, you want to protect the industry, you want to make sure that, only the legitimate customers come in. They think with you, they design with you, they plan with you. It's not like, when your project is done, see you in the next project. But, are you extracting the value out of that investment? What are you trying to achieve? How can we help you? And even to a certain degree, co-creating the new versions, new pieces, so that it, because they understand what we're trying to do and help develop capabilities. So I think that's key.
Perfect, thank you. And just for the audience, in fact, what Sir is talking is it means like if one person is getting onboarded with one type of the document, if you 3 months down the line with the second document, our machine learning and artificial intelligence capability would be in a situation to find and detect that this is coming and completing the system, so that risk is highlighted back to you for an onboarding purposes. Okay.